Peace, peace, greetings. I am coming just because it's needed, and I'm a big procrastinator. I want everything to be perfect conditions, day going smoothly, schedule in place like I want it to be, and that shit is just not my reality right now. Excuse my French, but yeah, I use profanity, and it's called cussing, not cursing. Cussing and cursing, two different things. So if you have sensitive ears, this might not be the location for you to be dropping by, because I definitely can get it in. I definitely can get it in depending on what my topic is and what's my energy at that time in that space. But this is probably going to be the hardest video that I ever do. And I'm not going with a program. I'm not going with a itinerary. I'm not going with a schedule or a planner. I'm just shooting off the hip, because every time I plan, every time I try to itemize, guesstimate, make it what I would like it to be and how I want it to flow in my mental capacity, it just doesn't get there. It doesn't get there the way I'm visualizing it, and components that I intend to have in place. It's never happening like that. So I'm not going to keep on delaying my process and my progress, because I have places to go. And my ancestors keep urging me about my creativity and my unique abilities that needs to be displayed. So I'm just going with my spirit and my guides that's from the inside, and I'm going to try to put this to the side and deal from here, which is what I generally operate from. But being a perfectionist, or not necessarily a perfectionist, but constantly seeking perfect conditions and everything to be itemized the way in my mind I feel like it should be, may never get me to where I need to be. Because if that was the case, I wouldn't have already gotten started with these videos, because I wasn't there when I started in November. I'm still not there, and it's going on September. So it is what it is until we get it to where we need it to be. And this is something that I have to also work on. And I'm sure I'm not alone, but if nobody wants to raise their hand and say, hey, because what, I don't have any subscribers or nobody knows who I am, that's fine. Just pass on by, keep on scrolling, go where you're going, and do what you do on a daily, if that gets you to where you need to be. But what I'm going to be doing over here is what's necessary for me. And what's necessary for me is to just keep going, and keep going. Because every time I want to put something in a regimen and say this is how I'm going to do it, it's not happening like that. Trying to intertwine things and bring in other energies. And this is about me, my path, my past, my future, my plight, and my presence with you lovely souls, beings, and beautiful ones that are going to join me now or later. It doesn't matter. It'll be here waiting for you to get to where we can grow together and go together. And so this is likely going to be my hardest video, because this is going to be about me, who I am, where I'm from, what this is about, and what brought me to this route. And I'm going to just go how I go. I mean, I flow easily when I don't have guidelines to follow, and that's pretty much been my problem with these platforms, because they want you to stand in line and go this way. And I don't tend to want to do what the crowd does. And I don't tend to want to go where the crowd is. And I don't tend to wish to be what everybody else is being. I would prefer to be me over here doing this the way I do it because it works for me. And I'm very happy and very content. Protent is my language would formulate in what and how I operate. And so I'm just going to share with you, and hopefully we'll get through this without the video cutting up. But if it does cut up, again, please bear with me. I'm not doing this for, the masses, the masses. I'm doing this for the few chosen that will come through, that the ancestral lineage, that the spirit guides and teams on the inside that's working and navigating and cooperating with this growth is going to guide ones too. That's who I'm here for. I'm not here for entertainment. I'm not here for your entertainment. I'm not here to make you have fun. I'm here because I've been called to this purpose. For many decades prior to myself knowing where I was going to go in this realm, in this plane, in this called human game. Because, when I was growing up, I had my own vision for my life and for my direction that I was planning on going, and what I would experience and what I would want to enjoy doing as an adult in this realm. But my plans were only minuscule in the large scheme of the plan. So I didn't get to those things in my dreams the way I had dreamed them. And because of that, I'm led here. I'm led here because I have so much to share from the journey that I have traveled and the destinations that I have seen, and so many more eons of experience on this plane as I know I will continue to gain while I'm in this vessel. And so basically, here we go. So I was born in this northeastern region, and I was born to a single mom whose father was not present at the time of birth because he was already in captivity in the system at a very early age. And so this is generational for me because it not only was my father, but it was also my grandfather. And not my biological grandfather, but the man that I knew that was very present in my life, that was my step grandfather, who was incarcerated a couple of times. And then finally, I recall him returning home to my grandmother's home, and that's where he passed away at, unfortunately. But fortunately, because at least he was among loved ones. Unfortunately, that's how I remember losing my grandfather. I don't recall the actual situation because I wasn't there and I was a child. But I do recall that my grandfather died at home, and I believe it was like a heart attack. If I checked the records and asked my grandmother, I could probably get better details, but I'd rather go on my own memory at this moment. Because my grandmother is a whole nother subject and some whole other segments of videos that we're going to eventually get to. Whom I'm birth named after, legally, governmentally. But that is not who I am, and that is not who I be. And so that is not the name that I carry to represent me. And the name that my mother birth gave me, I have transitioned as well from. I do honor it, but it is the old me. And this is who I am and who I have come to be. The new me, Aroy Aliones is my name. Aroy because I am royalty. And I come from a royal bloodline. And I knew this, but I didn't know this before I was gifted with my appellation that I am acknowledged as and that I go by. I didn't know the depth of who I am. I didn't know the growth that I would carry into this light with this appellation that I was gifted, which is what's called a name, a Roy. And it means several things, and you have the freedom to do your own Google due diligence. But as for me, it's the carrying the honor of my mother's essence. And I'm so thankful that the ancestors crowned me with the joy and jubilance of the baton that was passed to me from the loss of my life giver, my birth canal, my God, my goddess, my empress, Zimba Baraka Kika was her name at the time of her transition, which was not natural. As I stated in previous videos, she was taken from me when I was 20, before I even knew who I was and who I would come to be. Still a little child growing, thinking I was already grown, thinking, not knowing that I'm still growing. But at that time, you couldn't have told me that I wasn't grown legally, because they said at over 18, you were grown. That's what they told you. That's what they told me. So I ran with that. I ran with that bull, okay? Ran myself right into life experiences that I wasn't prepared for, that I had no idea I would endure at such early ages and early age ranges. Excuse my attire. I'm at home. I'm chillaxing. I was doing a webinar. I spent like 53 minutes in that webinar before I realized, like, these are not my people. These are not my people. And if I have another 53 minutes to give to them, then something is wrong with me. And so I exited the webinar that was supposed to be for the next 2 days, which was a 3-day schedule that I volunteered to participate in because I'm interested in the knowledge and the information, and I would like to carry on in the things and endeavors that I have on my agenda. And I need assistance. And I'm seeking assistance. And so, yes, the webinar came up, an information source, and I accepted the offer. Comes to find out, these are not my people. And I can't even sit and listen and be a part of something that is not going to grow and growth me. Now, yes, can I get good information from the source? Absolutely, I can get great information from the source. They're successful. I'm sure if I sat around another 53 plus minutes and over the next 2 segments, I will gain great knowledge. And I will probably get some guys on my directive of how I would like to proceed here. But because I was called here from not my own purpose, but for a greater purpose than me, I trust the ancestors' wisdom. And I know that my guidance and my help and my assistance is coming from the most beneficial sources that I could connect my soul to. And with where I was sitting for that information, I doubt very seriously if I could connect my soul to those energies and individuals. Though many of them appear and seem to be well-meaning, loving, good people, just not my people. Not my people to be investing my time and energy in sharing my mental space, because I have so much already to do, and time is not guaranteed to any of us. And since I, in the first hour, already figured out pretty much how the webinar would probably proceed for the next 2 segments with more than 1,000 attendees, I opted out because I have other guides, inner guides, and other gifts that I could pull from to get to where I'm going, and to have the benefits and the beneficial connections that I need to have while I grow through this and go through this. And so Yeah, I am going to share all those intimate, intricate things that I hope gets me to my next phase of sharing so that the preliminaries are actually addressed because I've never done that. I didn't do that when I jumped on here in November. My heart is so urging to be able to be who I am called to be, even if I'm not physically ready, mentally ready, emotionally steady to be that. I know that I have been given the green light, and yeah, the green light has been just, it's about to burn out. The green light is about to burn out, and so because I've been had the green light, and I know I should share these things that are dear to my spirit and my heart. I'm just gonna flow with it because I'm never getting enough rest as far as I'm concerned. I'm never in order as far as I'm concerned. I'm never, on schedule as far as I'm concerned. But I'm not on my own time. I've never been. If I was, things would be so much different in my mind and in my presence. So I'm just going with it. I'm flowing with it. And I wanted to come here on Monday, which was a Mother's Day, which was one of the final Mother's Day actually for this cycle in August. But it didn't work out like that, After the full moon, um, these moon energies really pull from me anyway as well. So a lot of times I feel like I'm going to be able to do something, and then it doesn't quite work out like that. Like whatever is going on in the cosmos, and also in conjunction with inside of my space and inside of my space and inside of my space, it all has to align because it's all intertwined. And a lot of the times when I, set something in my mind, the energies don't promote that. The energies just don't promote that. So, yeah, I'm here now all these days later, and it's Friday again. I remember when I said I was going to be here every day, and I plan to be here every day because I do have enough to share. But am I going to get all of these little things out of the way? I'm working at them, chipping away little by little every day, chipping away little by little every day so I could make it over here. Because over here is where the business is for me. And I don't mean business as in commerce. Because I'm not asking for anything from anybody. I don't need your donations. That will be up to you if that's what you choose to do. Whenever you choose to do. I'm not here demanding that you PayPal me like most of these YouTube content creators and many people who share their gifts. I am gifted, and I have a beautiful soul that I'm in tune with. And maybe she doesn't resonate with me. I don't know, but I love her content, and she's always said if it's not a gift if it's not given away. And so she shares her light and her love and her intuition and her guidance and her wisdom and her spirit connections for nothing. And that's what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to pattern myself after that beautiful soul and spirit. We share some common threads. I love her energy. I love her content. I love her ability to give freely. That many souls, many beings, many spirits enclosed in flesh, they don't have a clue about, they don't have an interest, and they don't even think along those lines of like, what? I work for this. You got to give me. No, No, I'm not of that thought family. So the things that I have and the things that I have been able to obtain in my nearly, ooh, I, it's a century. It's been a long haul to get here. It's been a long haul to get here and still have this. Still have this. OMG. Yes, because a lot of tears, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of heartache, a lot of mental anguish. Mental anguish. I didn't even get that out right. Anguish. Trauma. All of that and then some. But I still have this. Yes. And it's genuine. And this is the place that a lot of us, we don't know nothing about that genuine space where this comes from. We don't know about that genuine space, but I'm here to help us, hopefully, because, yeah, it's attainable. Even in spite of the hell that you may have lived through, it's attainable. Even in spite of the fails that you may have checked off and having to retry again, it's attainable. And so while I was born in this region, this is not where I would have imagined myself to be. All my life growing up, I probably felt like, dang, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be there. Or I learned about this place. And, oh, wow, I belong. It feels like I belong over there. But we are all born, birthed into the earth. We all come forth in the place where we have agreed to designate our energy. We all, there's no mistakes in creation. We all come forth into the space and in the place where we agree prior in the all-knowing isness that we come from to designate our space and time and energies of experience where we land. You don't think so, huh? I didn't either when I was younger. You couldn't tell me I belonged in this, what I call this space, hell hole, but it's Ohio. But you couldn't tell me this is where I belong. I knew this is where I was born. It's not where I was raised predominantly. It's where I've been the majority of my life, but I drew a lot of wisdom and a lot of culture and a lot of earthliness from the DMV where I was raised partially. And so my mom brought me forth in the region of where she encountered the soul that assisted her in creating me. And they came together in love, and I came forth. But by the time I came forth, my father was incarcerated. And my father would be incarcerated. My biological father would be incarcerated for my entire childhood. At about 14 or so, he would be released from the legal captivity system. Legal captivity system. He would be released when I was somewhere between possibly 12 and 14. And then he would ultimately be violated and returned to the legal captivity system, where he would expire ultimately. And my father was a wise and brilliant soul. I got to learn of his energy and learn of his wisdom and know that the two powerful wonder twins powers that activated, that came together to create me, is where I'm blessed from with all of my glories. I have so many, and I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful for these beings that came together for the short experience that they both had to bring forth this jewel, this royal jewel that is moi. Yes. So my mom was pretty much taken from me, and when I was 20, by the hands of wickedness which permeates the plane even more so 30 years plus later. And my dad was also taken from me, pretty much same wickedness, different type of scenario, still permeating the plane and dominating. And these are the reasons that I know I have greatness. I These are just a couple of the reasons I know I have greatness. Just a couple. There are so many more. Stick around. Stick around. So, my mom, peace be upon her beloved, precious soul. Peace be upon her beloved, precious soul. Peace be upon her beloved, precious soul. As I look into this camera, I see my mom. As I look into the mirrors, I see my mom. As I listen to my vocal cords, I hear my mom. I hear my mom. I see my mom. And it amazes me that I've turned into this amazing, powerful, beautiful source of light and love. And she has been off of the plane physically for more than 30 years. And it's like the evolution of Zimba in front of my camera. And it's like, wow, who knew? Who knew? Life is amazing. It's a gift. It's to be cherished. It's to be honored. Every step of the way, every breath that you take. And I don't do my best